Hello everyone, Mr. Linder here. Let's talk about how allergic reactions can occur. So an allergy is an inflammatory immune response to non-pathogenic antigens. Allergens are essentially an antigen that is typically not harmful to the body, but the body reacts to it in an inappropriate response. So in essence, if a person is sensitive to an allergen, the body is creating an inflammatory reaction in an inappropriate way. Allergic inflammatory responses can be mild or even fatal. We call these reactions sensitivity or hypersensitivity reactions. And these immune responses can either be the result of immediate hypersensitivity or delayed hypersensitivity. In immediate hypersensitivity reactions, these involve antibodies, and the responses occur within minutes of exposure to an allergen. For example, these could be food allergies, these could be pollen allergies, these could even be insect venom allergies. Delayed hypersensitivity reactions involve helper T cells and macrophages that actually could take several days to develop. These include allergies to things like poison ivy, poison oak, makeups, even metals. Allergies even have a strong genetic component. And so allergies can be within your family's gene pool, and exposure to a particular allergen could trigger that response in future offsprings. So it's important to note that if there are severe allergies within your family, it would be a good idea to reduce exposure to a particular allergen that might generate an allergic reaction down the road. Let's take a look at an immediate hypersensitivity reaction to something like a pollen. What would actually be taking place physiologically in the body? So when the body is first exposed to an allergen, so the first time you come in contact with a particular, say, plant pollen, what's the reaction that's going to take place? Well, what's happening in your first exposure is a sensitization phase. And so the macrophages, the antigen presenting cells, APCs, the macrophages are engulfing the antigen, which is in essence the allergen. The body is treating the allergen as an antigen. So antigen presenting cells are engulfing this allergen, and they are going to create fragments of that allergen and present those fragments on their class 2 MHCs. So these are the allergen fragments that are being presented on a class 2 MHC. Those fragments that are being presented will interact with helper T cells. Helper T cells have a T cell receptor and a CD4 co-receptor that can interact with the class 2 MHC. When the T helper cell becomes activated, it then can release chemical signals to go on and activate B cells. So T helper cells are activating B lymphocytes, and those B lymphocytes can go on to produce antibodies against the allergen. So the B lymphocytes are going to differentiate into plasma cells, but you're also going to get memory cells as well, so that in the future, this reaction is going to occur again. So the plasma cells that are produced from the B lymphocytes begin to produce antibodies against the allergen. So what kind of antibodies are we actually producing? Well, the types of antibodies that are produced are the IgE and the IgG antibodies. The IgE antibodies are immediately going to interact with mast cells and basophils found within the body. The IgG antibodies are going to circulate in the blood and wait for re-exposure to the same allergen. So upon re-exposure to the same allergen, we're now going to see the allergic reaction that takes place. Re-exposure is going to lead to a rapid and strong response because there are already antibodies embedded in mast cells and basophils, and there's already IgG antibodies present in the blood plasma. So the allergen comes along and interacts with the IgE antibodies that are found on mast cells and on basophil cells. And these are going to go on to release histamine and other cytokines, inflammatory chemicals. And this is going to lead to the vasodilation of blood vessels and the bronchoconstriction and the vascular permeability that we see in inflammatory reactions. And this is going to give you the symptoms that you experience with your allergies. The IgG antibodies are going to bind to the allergen, and they're going to activate the complement pathway. So the complement proteins are liver proteins that are circulating in the blood plasma. And these complement proteins are going to lead to the inflammatory reaction. So they're going to enhance inflammation, and they're going to activate or I should say activated T cells are going to release cytokines as well that are going to lead to the inflammatory reaction. So we have essentially three pathways that are leading to inflammation when you have a re-exposure to the same allergen. The IgE antibodies that are leading to histamine and other inflammatory chemical release, the IgGs that are activating the complement system, and then activated T cells that are going to have memory to the first exposure to the allergen, and that's going to lead to inflammation as well. The most severe types of allergic reactions are anaphylactic reactions, which can lead to widespread vasodilation, circulatory collapse, and even severe bronchoconstriction. It's important for people that have severe anaphylactic allergies to make sure that they have epinephrine readily available, because these types of allergic reactions could be fatal within minutes of time. So that's a little bit on the body's reaction to allergens. I hope that helps. Take care.